its base is a unique work of art. The Wonderland sculpture is a 12-meter-tall bent wire head of a young girl. It's certainly an eye-catching sculpture and...
Olá pessoal, sejam bem-vindos a mais um vídeo desse canal. Nós somos cidadãos de terceiro mundo e nesse canal nós reagimos ao Canadá. Nesse vídeo nós vamos reagir a Calgary.
Portanto, aproveite a oportunidade, considere se inscrever em nosso canal, clique no gostei, compartilhe esse vídeo e faça mais sugestões nos comentários. E agora, vamos para a reação.
Calgary, Alberta is one of North America's finest cities. Although its nickname of Cowtown may lead you to believe otherwise, Calgary is a very modern city that is considered to be one of the cleanest in the world. Every once in a while, I'm surprised by how interesting a city is, and Calgary was one of those cities that exceeded my expectations. In this series, I briefly cover a city's history, population, skyline, as well as a few things that make it unique. Now, let's meet Calgary. I always like to start by exploring how a city wound up being where it is today. Calgary is located where the Great Plains meet the Canadian Rockies at the confluence of the Elbow and Bow rivers. The area has been inhabited for over 10,000 years, namely by the people of the Blackfoot tribe, who refer to the area as the Elbow because of the shape of the river. The municipal city of Calgary is actually relatively young. In 1875, the Canadian Mounties built a fort there to prevent illegal whiskey trading, and settlers soon followed.
Blackfoot. Eu posso estar enganado, mas tem uma banda com esse nome?
Eu não sei. Mas estou surpresa em saber.
Se você é do Canadá e souber se tem uma banda com esse nome, deixa aqui nos comentários pra gente saber.
Mas estou surpresa em saber que é uma cidade tão nova e com tanto desenvolvimento assim.
In 1883, the Canadian Pacific Railway selected the settlement as one of its stops, leading to explosive growth for the young city. Calgary became the prime distribution center for cattle and cash crop farming, and then the discovery of oil near Calgary helped elevate the city to another level, quickly becoming a major metropolis. Today, Calgary has a metro population of around 1,300,000, making it the fourth largest population center in Canada, behind Vancouver and ahead of Calgary's rival Alberta city, Edmonton. If comparing to cities in the US, Calgary is similar in size to Memphis, but its impressive skyline would make you think that it was much larger, which I'll talk more about in a minute. The American city that Calgary is most similar to is probably Denver, given their location east of the Rockies and a history tied to energy and the railroads. Calgary is Canada's second largest corporate city, some of the largest companies headquartered there being Enbridge, Canadian Natural Resources, and the Canadian Pacific Railway. There are 7 colleges and universities in Calgary, including the University of Calgary and Mount Royal University. The city is considered to be one of the most clean and livable cities in the whole world. Call me shallow, but when it comes to cities, I think appearances matter, which is why evaluating a city's skyline is my favorite part of making these videos.
Caramba, estou impressionada. Como que essas pessoas conseguiram desenvolver essa cidade, tornar ela tão rica, tão bem desenvolvida em tão pouco tempo?
É incrível a gente perceber como é uma cidade que é um tipo de cidade que tem muito potencial, principalmente pelo fato da descoberta do petróleo. Então, eu acredito que isso deva ter ajudado muito no desenvolvimento dessa cidade. Mas outra coisa muito interessante é que existe ainda universidades lá e toda a arquitetura do lugar realmente é muito, muito bonita. Pra gente é muito diferente porque é uma estética de construção arquitetônica bem diferente do que a gente habitualmente está acostumado a ver em nosso país.
Calgary has one of the best looking skylines in all of North America, in my opinion. Its 19 skyscrapers are second only to Toronto within Canada, and I think the skyscrapers come together nicely with their different architectural styles. If you were to take the average height of Calgary's tallest 5 buildings, it would rank as the 12th tallest skyline in the United States, just behind Jersey City and just ahead of my home of Minneapolis. Its tallest building is the Brookfield Place at 247 meters or 810 feet, although my favorite skyscraper in the city is the Bow. Many cities that have severe winters will have some sort of indoor skyway network, but Calgary claims the title of having the largest skyway network in the whole world. Calgary's Skyway network, the Plus 15 walkway, in total is 16 kilometers or 9.9 miles, slightly beating out Minneapolis' Skyway system. Unlike Minneapolis's, though, Calgary's system isn't continuous, but is instead broken up into sections. The system connects over 130 downtown buildings and has the core shopping center in the middle of the Skyway system. Connected to the Skyways is one of the most unique buildings in the Skyline, the Calgary Tower. The tower was originally called the Husky Tower and was the tallest structure in Canada outside of Toronto when it was completed in 1968. At 626 feet, it's about 20 feet taller than the Space Needle in Seattle. And just like the Space Needle, there's a 360-degree observation deck as well as a restaurant
É uma
at the top.
vista incrível.
The tower was one of the founding members of the World Federation of Great Towers. Another interesting building in Calgary is Studio Bell, which is where the National Music Center is located. The unique architecture of the building is in itself breathtaking, and beyond that, the building is a performance hall, a museum, a broadcast studio, as well as a recording facility.
É realmente impressionante. As próprias informações do vídeo realmente relatam sobre a questão da arquitetura do lugar, mas são lugares surpreendente. A gente consegue perceber aqui a beleza que é esse lugar, inclusive em relação à própria natureza que tem, que também é muito, muito bonita.
É verdade, estou impressionada. Nós temos conhecido muitas cidades e lugares canadenses e eu fico impressionada como até agora todos que vimos são muito lindos. E eles respeitam muito a natureza também, porque todos os lugares é repleto de natureza. Isso é maravilhoso.
Just to the south of downtown is Heritage Park Historical Village. This village is Canada's second largest living history museum with more than 100 historic homes you can step in. Another park I should mention is Fish Creek Park, which is the second largest urban park in Canada and one of the largest in all of North America. It has over 100 kilometers or 62 miles of trails. Another building in Calgary with unique modern architecture is the New Central Library. This public library is the 6th most used library in all of North America. This beautiful library was completed in 2014 and has been described as one of the new icons of the city. When talking about
Aquilo era uma biblioteca?
Parece que sim.
Uau! É uma biblioteca gigante.
Eu nunca vi algo como aquilo. Muito diferente.
Sim.
the Skyline,
É
I had mentioned that my
incrível.
favorite building is the Bow, and at its base is a unique work of art. The Wonderland sculpture is a 12-meter tall bent wire head of a young girl. It's certainly an eye-catching sculpture, and you can even walk inside of it through an entrance on the neck. Another eye-catching aspect of the city is the home of the Calgary Flames, the Saddle Dome. The shape of the roof looks like a horse saddle, which is fitting given that Calgary is known for the Calgary Stampede. I couldn't make a video about Calgary and not mention this annual event. Believe it or not, the world's largest rodeo isn't in Texas. It's the Calgary Stampede in Alberta. This is a massive 10-day event, and one that is closely tied to the identity of Calgary. Some of Calgary's nicknames include Stampede City and Cowtown, partially because of this event. Calgary has a very unique bridge that I wanted to quickly mention named Peace Bridge, which extends over the Bow River. This bridge was designed by Santiago Calatrava, which is the same architect that designed the Oculus in New York City and Milwaukee's Incredible Art Museum, which I talked about in my Milwaukee overview video. And lastly, I'll mention that Calgary is the nearest metro to the breathtaking Banff National Park. Banff National Park is the most visited national park in all of Canada and is only about an hour and a half drive from Calgary.
Incrível, surpreendente. Mais uma vez a gente consegue ver, a gente vê nesse vídeo que tem uma questão de rodeio.
Eu não sabia disso.
Eu realmente também não sabia e eu fico impressionado de ver, porque a gente sempre associa esse tipo de prática com os Estados Unidos, que é uma coisa que a gente vê nos filmes que a gente assiste, mas realmente eu não imaginava que o Canadá também compartilhava dessa cultura de cowboy, né, e rodeios. Realmente eu não sabia disso.
Eu também não sabia, estou surpresa o quanto de coisas diferentes há no Canadá. E são cidades incríveis, cidades deslumbrantes, com uma mistura de natureza e de uma coisa assim futurística também. Eu estou impressionada, é um país incrível.
Sim, e os lugares são muito bonitos. A gente consegue perceber que no Canadá eles dão muita valorização aos museus. Eu fiquei impressionado com o tamanho daquela biblioteca. Se eu estivesse num lugar como esse de livros, eu ia ficar louco, porque é incrível. Realmente é de tirar o fôlego. Mas essa foi a reação desse vídeo. Portanto, aproveite a oportunidade, considere se inscrever no nosso canal, clique no gostei, compartilhe esse vídeo e faça mais sugestões nos comentários.
Muito obrigada por assistir esse vídeo e nos vemos na próxima reação.
Tchau!
Tchau!